So yeah, as you can tell, basically I have a HP ProLiant DL360 Generation 6, 32 gigs of RAM, 4 146K hard drives, running VMware ESXi version 6, if I'm remembering right off the top of my head. I'm just going to show you what the inside looks. It has 32 gigs of RAM. Probably should shut the system off before I open it, but I'm running mission critical systems currently, so let's go ahead and open this up. And basically all I do is just flip the switch, and if I want to lock it back, which is not done, if I just want to lock it back, I just make sure it's lined up here and just lock it, and I actually keep a drive, and I actually lock the top of it to keep people that I don't want inside the case to actually access it. So let's go ahead and show you what the inside of this looks. Give me just a second as I open this up. And actually, you know what? For safety reasons, I'm actually going to shut this down. So normally shut down. So kind of so you can see what the shutdown process is like. This is basically what it's currently doing. It's currently shutting down all the VMs at this time. So it's currently shutting down the VMs, and the server is now shut down. So you will be able to see the inside of the server. Go ahead and zoom back out. And sorry for the cabling mess right now. That's a work in progress. I don't have my server rack yet, which is in progress of getting here eventually, as soon as funding's available for it. So I'm going to go ahead and open the case. First of all, I'm going to actually cut the power off on it. Hopefully I didn't cut power off anything else. So I'm going to open the case up, and I'm just going to pull the top of the case off. And that hurt. And the top of the case is currently warm. So here I have my redundant fans. There's currently 4 fans. They are hot swappable, and they do currently run at about 21% power. I'm going to actually try and pop this area here off, if I can get it to come out. It wanted to throw a hissy fit the last time I tried this. So and of course it wants to throw a fit still. Alright, it looks like the problem here with this coming off is my RAID controller is attached to this also, which is very nice. Just give me just a second. Let me get one of my handy dandy flashlights once I find where I have one sitting. Nice lovely flashlight. Alright, there's some better lighting. just a second as I have to pop. So as you can tell, this right here is actually my RAID controller battery. So I'm just going to set him to the side. Just make sure nothing comes loose. And surprisingly, the RAID controller battery actually comes from Singapore. It's very So yeah, as you can kind of tell currently, the black cover here is currently not actually wanting to come out, which is very surprising. Okay, there we go. Just had to use a little handy dandy tool that actually comes with this. So as you can tell, this is the cover plate that covers the CPUs and the RAM and some other critical components. And I'm going to zoom into each component. So here is my RAM. This compute server comes pre-installed with 32 gigs of RAM. I can actually expand it 10 more RAM sticks. So that would give me actually a fairly good amount of storage extra RAM. This server does come with pre-installed 146 gigabytes SAS drives. There's 4 of them. I'm actually in the process soon getting 4 1 terabyte drives. This server comes with 2 CPUs. Top of my head, I'm not 100% sure what the CPUs are. I will link it into the description on what the CPUs are, and I will link the whole server specs. This was a refurbished unit, by the way. Fairly cheap, actually. It's about 300 and it's about 200 and something before shipping. 2 dual power supplies, 460 watts each. I currently only use between both of them together because they're redundant. I'm using anywhere around 136 to 150 watts, which is actually a lot better power-wise than my desktop servers, which are all just old desktop computers. 4 redundant fans. It does have the capability of a internal, for me plugging a USB stick inside to boot off of. I can also boot off an SD card to save storage space. This server is actually a really nice server. It's one of a couple that'll come. I actually have a newer version of this server actually in New York. So I'm going to put the black cover plate back on before I end up forgetting and not hearing the end of it. So it just snaps back in. Basically what it does, it covers the RAM, the CPUs, keeps the fan control, the fans blowing and reversing the hot air. I'm going to stick the RAID battery back in. I actually had to let this battery run for 48 hours to become fully charged. I will let you hear what it sounds like when it boots up, and also let you see the specs. Let you see the post check. It does take a little bit, the post. I mean, it's just because of the amount of RAM that's in this bad boy. I always have fun getting the case back on. So give me just a second. It's always fun getting this case to go back on correctly. So there we go. So it just slides up and locks. And I'm going to also use my Torx screwdriver, and I'm going to lock the component so that only people with the right drives can actually get in to the server itself. Whoops, sorry about that. So I'm going to change angles real fast so you'll be able to see what it looks like when it's posting. I'm going to power the server on. You're going to be able to hear what the server sounds like when it's powering on. It is loud. You're going to be able to see on the screen here what it looks like when it's posting, how long it takes, what the post looks like. This does have a HP ILO, which is in, I can't actually remember what it is actually called. I'll have to look that up. Which is fun because I've been using it a lot lately to determine what my power usage is. But this does run VMware ESXi. I think it's version 6. So I'm going to power the server up. So I'm just going to turn my surge protector on, which I keep tucked back to keep the heat off of it. So the monitor comes on. The server will get ready. I'll get ready to turn the server on now. You will hear the fans kick in. They are loud. Just kind of a heads up. So, actually I'm going to unplug my external hard drive. So, server's coming on. You should be able to, if I did knock a cable out, it should start popping up on screen on what the post looks like. Hopefully I didn't knock no cables out. I am actually a VMware partner. So if you're interested in the licensed version of VMware ESXi, I'll put my contact info. There we go. So it's getting ready to actually post. It's actually loading now, so it should start posting here in just a second. There we go. So yeah, it's gonna start posting. I'll put my contact information for my team that works with me on the VMware side of things. So yeah, as you can tell, it does post fairly fast actually. It's one of the faster ones I actually have seen. The server is actually currently running with ambient temperature of 71 degrees Fahrenheit, 22 degrees Celsius. So it does have 2 Intel X, and there goes the fans once more. They do that a couple times. Does have 2 CPUs, 8 cores total. Hyper-threading is actually enabled, which is actually good. So it should start now doing, and there was another post. So it should actually boot directly into VMware here in a minute. There we go. So basically now VMware is starting. It's going to start booting all of my VMs. It'll start booting all the VMs up automatically. Right now I only have one running just because I mainly only have storage space to run one server, one VM actually. So I actually have maxed out my space on this server, so that's why I'm actually putting 4 terabytes of storage into the system. So as you can actually tell, right here is actually the type of server I have, the version of VMware. So I'm actually using VMware ESXi 6.0.0. The server has 2 Intel CPUs, E55 20 at 2.27 gigahertz and 32 gigs of RAM. So mainly this is everything that the server does right now. It does have 2 network cards. Both network cards are plugged up just for redundancy. So if for some reason one loses connection, I always have a backup. Plus I also have my I/O adapter along with this, which I do use some, and I will actually make a whole separate video on the I/O adapter itself. If you have any questions, just feel free to contact me. My contact information will be tagged somewhere inside the video, also along with down in the description. I also am a reseller with pfSense. They actually have some really good systems. I'm hoping soon to actually get a couple pfSense units. We're also working with Ubiquity. I got a lot of new stuff coming in and a lot of new technology that I work with. Have a great night and day, everyone. Talk soon. Look for this video up soon.